RangerForest.com.
Hey, before you do that, shout out Shaq. He couldn't be here with us. He's gonna be on the next episode. So, I mean, it's simple. Common sense. Worst bust ever in sports. Jamarcus Russell. It's a no-brainer. You in the same draft as Megatron, Joe Thomas, Adrian Peterson. Come on, man. Patrick Willis was in that draft. And you was number one overall.
Yeah.
HOA out of the league.
Did you hear about the time when they gave him the little blank disc, the game tape?
No, what happened?
So they gave him the Raiders organization and like the scouting combine season, they gave him a blank disc and told him to go over the plays that they were like looking into to like challenge his quarterback IQ. And what happened was he came back with a lie and said that he studied the plays and shit, but it was just a blank disc.
Bro.
Man, I'm gonna give you mine. Greatest bust in entire history of sports, in my opinion, Johnny Manziel. You gotta think about it, man.
Over Trent.
I would rather have because Trent Richardson's his whole rookie season, you can't forget he did good his rookie season.
He was out his rookie season. Yeah, you're right.
But he just didn't develop. But with Johnny Manziel, his whole rookie season, it's just a waste, man. Waste of a pick, waste of a spot. Somebody else deserved it, kind of got that spot.
Yeah, and they traded up for that pick, right?
They traded up for him. Just think, man. All he did was party, drugs, party. You got to think, man. Like, I mean, in my opinion, I would rather have Jamarcus Russell over Johnny Manziel. I'm gonna say it right there.
Nah,
you got it.
You wild. You wild.
I only say that because at least Jamarcus Russell, man, he was honest with the shit. But Johnny Manziel, man, he was 1 year and out. At least Jamarcus Russell, at least he can run down the field. I mean, Johnny Manziel ain't doing nothing, man. I wish it panned differently.
Yeah, but Johnny Manziel got more excuses than Jamarcus Russell got.
That's true.
That line we had that year was not it.
It wasn't it, but you got to think Brian Hoyer had the same line and did terrific.
Terrific or okay?
Brian Hoyer is the GOAT for the Browns of the 2010s.
Bruh, he had the best season of all the Browns quarterbacks except Baker.
That's true.
That's a fact. But was it a great season?
No, it was a disaster, man.
It was a backup worthy season.
Yeah. Got to think, Josh Gordon was on that team too.
He was on that team.
We're gonna speak about him in a future episode. You know what? I'm gonna put you on the spot right now. Would you, if you was an NFL team, give Josh Gordon a go?
Yes. Yeah.
Why? Why would you say that?
I mean, I'm saying yes kind of loosely, but it depends on – you got to give him workouts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You got to see what he's looking like. Can he still run? Can he still catch? But that dude was built like a machine.
Mm-hmm.
And his ability to create separation downfield was unlike any receiver the Browns have had in a long time. I think if he was to get on the team and ball out for 10 to 13 games,
yeah,
he could change the way he, you know what I'm saying? He could have a comeback story.
He could.
Really have a comeback story. He could change the way the teams see him. But he got to get out his own way, though. That's the only thing.
But with the little weed legalization with the NFL, he got a chance to come back.
Yeah. Yeah. And if that go through, then hey, you feel me? Now you ain't even got to give it up no more.
Mm-hmm.
you get the best of both worlds. Just go ball out.
Yeah. What offense do you? I think Kansas City. I think if Kansas City got him, just to put him and Kelsey in the red zone.
That's not fair. That's not fair. No. I wouldn't mind seeing him in Philly.
Philly, yeah.
With Wentz. The Patriots could use him.
Definitely.
If he goes somewhere like Dallas and he's at elite level, they might win a Super Bowl.
Could.
They might be a Super Bowl team.
The question is Dak gonna be there?
That's a great question too.
Well, we gonna cover that at later time.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about that. I can't wait.
All right, who do you think in the 2020 draft class that we just seen? I think, in my opinion, is going to be one of the best we've seen in a while, because I think every first round draft pick, besides one, is going to shatter this league. Who do you think is going to be the biggest draft bust of this class?
I gotta say Justin Herbert. He got such a good. I got a good feeling he can be really good, but I also have a big feeling that he could be really bad.
Yeah.
I saw him fold in a lot of big moments. He folds in some big moments. Decision making is in question, but the things that he can do, I get Phillip Rivers vibes from him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he can be that good. But it's just a lot of question marks. Too many of them for where they got him at.
Right.
6. Maybe if you get him in the second round, I might say something different. But at 6, it was a lot of really good players on the board that the Chargers could have used.
A lot.
Sure.
Do you think he'll start this year? You think Tyrod Taylor go down, or they'll plug him in?
I think they're going to work him in. I think it all determines on how the offseason goes. You know what I'm saying? Camp and everything, OTAs, and we see how those things end up shaking out. But I think he could slide into a starting spot if he does the right things. That's not even the game things. That's just practice well, stay on your diet, work out, just those things. You do the right things. I think he could slide in there. They picked him at 6.
Yeah, that's very high.
They planned for him to see the field this year.
I in my opinion, I think he could be the biggest bust, but there's one bust. I'm not labeling him as a bust. The team that got him, they could have got something better. I'm gonna go ahead and say.
I know who you're talking about.
I'm gonna go ahead and say Jalen Reagor.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Jefferson was on the board. They could have traded up for CD. They could have traded up. They could have traded up for the Bama receivers, but I mean, I love him as a player, but that, in my opinion, that's a reach.
Yeah. Yeah.
Think about the receivers they had to develop. I mean, he could be another Deshaun Jackson, but he can also be, another mediocre receiver that they got in the first round when there was so many. Look at the Bengals at 33. Look who they got.
Yeah.
Like, you could have had T. Higgins. I love T. Higgins. I think he might be the steal of the draft, but considering where
One of
he
them.
was drafted.
Yeah.
But come on, man. I mean, I talked to a Philly fan. He was disappointed. He wanted Jefferson himself. He was talking about Jefferson, or they could have got offensive lineman that they wanted. But man, I'm a hope for the best, but in my opinion, that's going to be the biggest draft bust of this year.
Yeah, I can see that. Jefferson was the much safer pick. Much safer pick.
Yeah, man, that was a huge blow. Philly fans, I feel for you, but hey, okay. So who do you think is going to be the best steal of the draft?
I got one steal because he was drafted so low in the 5th round. Now, I know centers don't get taken that high. I know.
Mm-hmm.
But Nick Harris is a monster.
Oh, yeah.
And this is no Cleveland bias. That dude is a monster. I think he will fit very well at right guard. If our center goes down, he can step right in and it'll be nothing to him. This dude got a low base. He's very bottom heavy. He sit that butt down and you can't move him. Cannot move. He was giving Derek Brown issues.
Yeah,
Auburn
I was
game.
getting at that.
He was giving him issues.
And then we broke it down in the chat, and you was telling me about the Auburn game, and then you was telling me about the little scouting combine video that we had posted. That man's gonna be a freak in a couple of years. I give him some time because you got a center. We got a center, but if he goes down or we don't want to resign the center,
Yeah.
Oh man, we could top five.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed.
In my opinion, though, the biggest draft steal was Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Kansas City. I mean, it's the end of the first, but Kansas City is going to be untouchable this year. All they needed was, workhorse running back that they can get a ball to.
They got
their line. Yeah, their line is absolutely terrific.
Mm-hmm.
And with this guy running the ball, I mean, you could have picked J.K. Dobbins. It really don't matter. Just put a good back there. But I think their offenses, they might. I'm not saying they will, but a bold prediction I'm going to make. We're going to get that in a future episode, but a bold prediction, Chiefs will be shattering records this year.
I'm not mad at that. I mean, it's so much with their offense and how broad it is and how many different things they do.
Yeah.
They can use him so many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
They can use him so many different ways, and he's going to ball out. I think he's going to ball out. I see him being day one, going in there, working his tail off, and I think he's going to be starting come game one.
Yeah. Man, if he can stay healthy, he got a case for rookie of the year. He's going against, Tua. He's going against Burrow. He's gonna go against Justin Herbert. But I think he got a good chance to be a rookie of the year.
Yeah.
We're gonna stay in the NFL though. This might be the last NFL question of the day. But Cam Newton, I need you to break this down to me and for everybody. Why is Cam Newton not on the team?
Well, it's a few reasons.
Got to put you on the spot.
One, he's 30, and he just injured his throwing shoulder. As a business, that's going to cause a couple concerns because he's 30. It would be different if he was 25,
right,
26, 27, but he's 30. Every quarterback can't be Ben Roethlisberger, Tom Brady, and Drew Brees play until they're, upper 30s, late, early 40s. Everybody can't be that way. And you just never know. And his production wasn't that great when he was healthy.
Right.
He was putting up decent numbers, very solid numbers, but were they equal in wins? No, not really. Not really, And a lot of different things can be attributed to the losing. You can't put that all on Cam because it's not. It certainly isn't. But the point I'm getting to is that would cause any team to look at that and pause. It don't matter what position you play. If you're a lineman and you're coming off of a severe injury to a limb, they're going to say, whoa, you 30. We don't know.
Right, yeah.
On top of that, he didn't want to take a backup contract. I mean, why not take the backup contract and show that you can still play?
Right. Still
Because
can win the job.
Exactly. You feel me? Just show up and show that, hey, I'm still here. I can still do this. And then of course they'll give you more money.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to prove that you're still worth that money because the league is about what have you done for me lately.
Right.
And if you just had to sit a whole year out because of your shoulder, nobody's going to pay you top dollar, not even close to what you think you're going to get. So to say, I'm going to hold out until a quarterback goes down, why are you banking on that?
Yeah.
What if everything goes perfect and nobody gets hurt this year? Obviously, that's a stretch, but what if? Now you just sitting at home, salty, you ain't got no job, hoping somebody get hurt. Like, bro, don't live like that, man. For real. Take the backup contract. That's just the common sense thing. That's when you gotta let your ego get out the way so that you can still have a job.
Yeah, I think he's still in he still thinks like, I'm a starting quarterback worth millions. I mean, I have been injured lately, but I'm still a starter. I don't think that's not gonna fly in today's NFL because any day, look at Gardner Minshew. Anybody can start in this league as long as you do what you got to do, throw the ball, be like be really good at what you do, basically.
That's it.
And I think like a good team, if he do want to sign with somebody, I think a good team, a great team that he can fit in is the Raiders. I mean, you can back up Carr. What if he wasn't having a good run there? If he go down or they want to bench him, you can start in, know the playbook, go in there, compete. Maybe you get a job there. I think that's a perfect situation. They got a okay offensive line. I mean, it's not great, but the weapons they have now, I think he can thrive there.
Yeah. I mean, I'd go to Tampa Bay and back up Tom.
Yeah.
Might get a ring out of it. Why not?
I think that'll be. Oh, you made me think about that. You can back up Tom, and then when he thinks or when he's ready to go, boom, your job's sitting right there.
Slide right in.
Learn, and especially learning from the best.
Learn how not to hold the ball so long so you won't get hit all the time. Yeah.
I think another thing, like you said, he got to do is he can't be a run first quarterback. You gotta sit back there. You gotta wait it out, and deliver. You can't as soon as something happens. Look at Baker. Baker, I think, is a perfect example. He still stays back there and he slings it.
Yeah.
When he has an offensive line, we'll get at that later. But I think Cam can still be a top 10 quarterback. He just has to wait I feel like he has to wait his turn and prove himself.
Yeah.
Speaking of greatness, though, in your opinion, do you think greatness, Hall of Fame ceremony, like being called a GOAT, do you think that should be measured and the amount of rings you have?
Yes and no. It's a balance. There's so many things that go into winning the championship. Everything has to go perfectly. You gotta have a perfect team around you. From ownership down to the very bottom, it has to be perfect for that one season. Some guys have been on very great teams and have won rings. It doesn't make them greater than certain people. You know what I mean? For instance, Draymond Green, Charles Barkley. Draymond Green has been on really great teams. He got to play with the Splash Brothers and Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Got 3 rings out of the deal. Charles Barkley has 0. But there is nobody on the face of the earth that I've talked to that has said Draymond Green is or was better than Charles Barkley.
Not in a million years.
Not at all. Not at all. So it's just like they matter. They definitely matter because what are you playing the game for if it's not for championships? Right. But you can't place championship rings solely on one player's accomplishments. It took that entire team to do it. So championships add to the legacy, but they don't define the entire legacy.
Right.
They definitely add to it, though. I think what really defines greatness is what you bring to the game. Your dominance over the game. How do other players view you? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If I was to sit down and ask other players about you, what would they say? A lot of that goes into greatness as well. As far as who's the GOAT, we'll say that conversation for another time. I think, that debate is a whole nother debate on its own. Because you got being great and being Hall of Fame caliber, and then you have being GOAT status. What makes you GOAT status? And when you get to talk about GOAT status, rings definitely matter. They ain't everything, but they something. You feel me? Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and say it, though. I think LeBron's the GOAT. I'm going to go ahead and say it.
I mean, I agree with you. I agree with you. I don't think it's anything else to really talk about.
Do you think you've been watching, I don't know if you've been watching, but you've been hearing about, the Last Dance.
Oh, I've been watching.
And I told you I'm going to put you on the spot today.
That's cool.
The Last Dance, that Bulls team, some people say, not a lot. I mean, I've been talking to, people on both sides. They say that Jordan is the GOAT because he didn't have help like the way NBA today has.
That's what they say.
Now, they say LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Giannis, they say if they were in, that day's NBA, that they wouldn't be able to make it past the first round. I seen on your Facebook account the one time where you said that without Pippen, it wouldn't be no rings, the amount of rings. So, in your opinion, if Michael Jordan didn't have Pippen, would Michael Jordan have as many rings or any rings?
No. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. Okay, I'm going to say he would have one. He would have one. The reason I say no is because without Scottie, Mike was 10%. That was his win percentage in the playoffs. 10% without Scottie. Without Scottie and Phil, 10% of the playoffs. That alone tells you that he wasn't able to win without him. You know why Scottie helped Mike so much win those championships? Because Scottie did the things that Mike didn't want to have to do so that Mike could put up all the points.
Mm-hmm.
Scottie rebounded. Scottie passed the ball. He made the offense move around. You feel me? He helped orchestrate that triangle offense with Mike. He helped Mike defending. When Mike couldn't defend certain guys, he picked that up. You feel me? In the 91 finals against the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
Mike was struggling with Magic. I mean, that's what it looked like to me. That's what my eyes saw. Mike was struggling. And Scottie said, I got it. And that changed the series. Once Scottie started picking up Magic, it changed the series. Scottie was not the best player on the team. Nobody's ever going to say that. We all know MJ was that guy. He was that dude on the team.
Mm-hmm.
No question. But if Scottie wasn't there to do the little stuff, the other stuff, the other things that go on the stat sheet that people think Michael Jordan wasn't good at, those things, Michael Jordan wouldn't have won any rings. Because Michael Jordan would have had to do those things too. The thing is, if Michael Jordan was a triple-double machine, think about those 10 games where he had a triple-double straight, 10 straight games. You know what his record was in those 10 games? 5-5.
Yeah.
Average as hell. You see what I'm saying?
I got you. I just don't
to have teammates that can do things that can pick up the load in certain areas, so you don't have to do everything.
Right. I think if you take Jordan out and you plug a KD in there, I think they'll have the same amount of. I think, in my opinion, they'll have the same amount of rings.
Exactly. Exactly.
Even if you plug in LeBron, I don't think they would have ever lost a game. You know, LeBron's my man.
Yeah.
But I feel like everybody, all the old heads, as you want to call them, they think Jordan was just this, god of the NBA. I mean, he was in his right way, but I don't think if it wasn't, you got to have that team like Pippen, Rodman, Steve Kerr. They all did their jobs. You can't just hold this one man accountable for all those rings. That man did his job. Other players have their job. I think it was a team effort. And as you can see, that last season when they didn't have those pieces, and they didn't have Pippen, or when Rodman went AWOL, the whole team suffered, and you can see the decline in like the productivity. But in my opinion, Jordan wouldn't have no rings without Pippen. I don't think he would. Maybe, like you said, maybe one, but I don't think it'd have been the same.
Not at all. Not at all. And you got to think about the time as well. I don't get why people act like LeBron hasn't faced some of the greatest dynasties in the NBA in the finals. When MJ didn't, he just didn't. In 91, the Lakers were old. Come on.
Oh.
Utah, you only got 2 superstars to worry about.
Yeah.
LeBron had to worry about 4 on 2 different teams. He had to worry about 4 all-star caliber dudes. It's just the competition is different. People knock LeBron for trying to get help and wanting to play with superstars. But the era he plays in, he has to have 2 superstars on his team.
Yeah.
You got to. The times is just different. But what you can't do is act like LeBron started this.
Oh, no.
Super teams been a thing. It's been a thing. It's not something LeBron started. LeBron was just the first to take control of his situation. How can you blame a man for that? For holding literally their whole career in their hands. How could you blame a man for that? Any athlete would want that, to be able to go to
Exactly.
whatever team you want to at any given time. Who wouldn't want that?
I mean, look at the Pistons in 20 what is that, 2004, when they added the people they added. Look at the Bulls when they added Kerr, and
Come on.
Rodman and them. Come on, man. You can't just say LeBron started this. It was a trend way before.
Remember when Barkley and Pippen tried it
Oh yeah.
in Houston?
Oh yeah.
Terrible.
It's been a theme in every sport, like every sport since the dawn of time.
Right.
Just think of Melo when it went to the Heat when he went. I don't think anybody would have contested that. But we gonna stay on the Heat. So I'm gonna put you on the spot again and ask you this question: the Heat dynasty that went against the Spurs, and the Thunder with KD and Westbrook. The Heat teams from 2000, what is that, 2011 to 2014 before LeBron left for the Cavs. Would they or the Golden State Warriors team with KD, 2016, where, Draymond cried in the parking lot to get him, KD to come. Who do you think would fare better in a series against that 90s dynasty of the Bulls?
Now, when you say fair better, what do you mean?
Who would challenge more? Like who do you think would win a series if you had to pick a team?
Okay. Because I think matchup wise, the Bulls, those 90s Bulls and that Heat team, that would be a beautiful series to watch.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even call that. I would just want to watch that. That would be nice. But the Warriors and the Bulls, that's a wash. That's a wash. That's a wash, man. It's too much to worry about. It's too much. And then it also depends what era we playing in. If we're playing in today's era, it's definitely a wash. Because you can't touch Steph. You can't touch Clay. You can't touch KD. They just gonna come down and knock down shots.
I'm talking about that grit, that 90s, 80s type of game.
Okay, back then, I'm gonna say I like the Heat. I like the Heat chances better back then because that Heat team was very tough defensively. I don't think they get enough credit for that, but they were very tough defensively, and they got a lot of big time play from guys off the bench. And when Birdman came, he just started eating. I think he rejuvenated his whole career playing in Miami. They had, cast off guys like Eddie House, who, he made some plays. I mean, they just had guys who every year they had guys that fit with the system. And it got them to the finals. Win, lose, or draw, it got them to the finals. They was doing something right,
I think that's a tough decision for me. But if we're talking about like 90s, 80s, physical play, I'll probably say the Heat too. But if we're talking about today's, NBA, I probably would go with the Warriors. But it's a difference maker with LeBron James on that floor. LeBron, Wade, and Bosh chemistry together. Oh my goodness, man. It's crazy. You got LeBron, Gordon, Jordan, Bosh, Gordon, Rodman, and Wade, Gordon, Scotty. I mean, that'd be ticket seller, man. I don't think it'd be a seat or TV eyes off the floor.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to do that on 2K or something.
Somebody got to do it.
Yeah.
But in the NBA, we're gonna stay in NBA. Who do you think in today's NBA, one player can be a person on the Lakers and it can't be a person on the Warriors. Who do you think in today's NBA could challenge Jordan 1-on-1? When I say challenge, I mean like gives him the most competition. Who can actually like win against Jordan?
Win against Jordan.
Yeah.
There's some good shooters in the league. But who gonna D him up?
Mm-hmm.
I want to say Kawhi, but I don't think Kawhi could outshoot Jordan, though.
Right.
That's the only thing.
Can I give you mine first so you can think about it?
Yeah.
In my opinion, I love this player. I'm going to say Paul George.
Paul George?
Paul George. Paul George can clamp him up and Paul George can shoot his ass off. I think Paul George, if Paul George didn't get injured, I think that Pacers team could have been lethal.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Paul George.
Yeah, Paul George can shoot at a high clip, too.
Mm-hmm. And can punch on your ass in any given time.
Yeah. Yeah. He'll be all up in it. I think I'm going back and forth with two people. But for shock value purposes, I'm talking about one of the best, most pure shooters, you know what I'm saying, in the league, probably ever. Two-way player, Klay Thompson.
Oh.
I know he on the Warriors, but come on, man. I ain't pick Steph. Just come on, man.
I'll give you that one. I think,
Klay, bro.
yeah, Klay's a difference maker, man. I love Klay.
Yeah.
And he's feisty.
He the guy I will say, I don't see the Warriors winning a championship without him.
Oh yeah.
I don't see it happen.
Just think, in that series, you know, every single year he would get hot in the finals versus the Cavs. He'd get hot, and once he got hot, Curry can be off his game.
Yeah.
Like when Dellavedova shut him down on the first 2-3 games.
Yeah.
Klay Thompson was just banking. It pissed me off. It pissed me off, but you gotta love it.
He was going crazy.
All right, before we get into the last thing, I'm gonna stay in the NBA because this, I'm trying to make this an NBA because we went on full NFL last one. So, who in today's NBA, who do you hate the most? You can't stand them, never want to be a part of them, hate the guts out of them.
Today's NBA?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There's nobody I really hate. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I see everybody from two sides. What I will do, I'll tell you who I think is super overrated.
Okay, I'll deal with that.
I'll tell you who is super overrated. I don't see the hype behind James Harden. I don't get it. He's great. I'm not saying he's not. I just don't think he's what everybody sees. Because when it's time to win, when it's really time to win, he just doesn't get his team over the hump.
That's true.
He just hasn't done it. Now I was interested to see him with Russ and how they do in the playoffs this year. I'm excited to see that, but I just don't see it. His style of play, that ISO ball that they do, where him and Russ just kind of take turns. You ball out now, you ball out. It's cool, but then when you get in the playoffs, things buckle down. Defenses tighten up. Mm-hmm. People really dive into their playbooks and start whipping up things. I just don't see that small ball lineup working. And I don't see James Harden being able to lift a small ball team to a finals appearance. They may make the conference finals. I think they're good enough to upset, the Clippers. I really do think they're good enough to upset the Clippers just
Right.
because the scoring factor. But I think if they see the Lakers in the 7-game series with that small ball lineup, and the Lakers have all these tall dudes, I just don't see it working out for them. They might get out rebounded by 30 that night. That series could be a wash for them. But I still think that James is really good. I think he's great. Hall of Fame talent, no question. But only in the regular season.
Yeah. With that being said, we're gonna tone it up a notch. We're gonna say who you think is the most underrated.
Most underrated player.
Who don't get the credit they deserve.
Let me see. I'm gonna say Trae Young. Trae Young, some people think he's overrated, but I think for him to be that young and that talented, he is the future of the point guard position. He's the future. You know what I'm saying? He's basically a redefined Steph Curry type of guy. I mean, this dude can pull up from the logo.
Yeah.
From anywhere. He can handle the ball. I mean, he got a few things he need to work on, but I mean, he's still young. I think he's very underrated. And I think if he has a second guy, it could be a little different for them, especially in the East.
Yeah,
Now that
that's
the
true.
league has kind of gone back to a 2 superstar game like it was in the 90s, all he needs is another guy. A lot of people saw Collins being that guy.
Yeah.
So, we'll see what happens, but I think Trae Young is very underrated.
All right, I'm gonna give you mine. My overrated. I think this. I mean, he proved it this year. But my most overrated player in today's NBA is Lonzo Ball. Man. Lonzo Ball. I think he's overrated. Considering where they drafted him and how everybody expected his, fucked up jump shot to be the best in the game. They compare him to fucking LeBron James. They compare him to Russell Westbrook. Come on,
Steph
man.
Curry.
I just don't see it. I mean, he's good. I don't think he'll ever be great. I think he can be like a rotational player, on a playoff team. I think he can, in the right situation, he can do good. But I just don't see the hype that he got or the hype. Look at him in college for that UCLA game. When he went against, the Kentuckies, he played good, but I knew then that he wasn't going to be as what he was hyped up to be. Now, Zion, a different story. I see Zion being a beast, and I praise Zion. But Lonzo,
man.
Zion about to tear up this league, man.
Yeah.
But my underrated player, I mean, I post this dude a lot in the NBA conversation, but I think he don't get the praise that he deserves. I think he's the number one point guard in this league. Gonna go down as a Hall of Famer once he win a couple rings. But I think Damian Lillard is the most underrated player in this league. Look what he does. I mean, he controls the ball. He goes off. He hits buzzer beaters over great teams. I mean, he can play D and he can score. In his transitional play, that man never gets tired.
Yeah.
And everybody's saying Steph Curry, Steph Curry, Steph Curry. Put Steph Curry on that Trailblazers team. See if he can beat, that Rockets team. What was that back in 2014, 2015? When he hit that, see if he can carry a team like the way Dame Dollar do. But in my opinion, I think Damian Lillard is the most underrated player.
I can see that. I respect that. I
Now,
think Curry a little overrated too.
you think so?
Yeah. Because if that shot ain't falling, that boy ain't doing nothing.
At all. At all. Everybody traded, the Kobe shot. When you shoot and you say Kobe, they traded for Steph.
No.
I shook my head, man. Shook my head.
Mm-mm.
This younger generation just want to shoot. They don't. When that shot is off, you ain't doing nothing, man.
Facts.